Well, I really think the first part was completely lost. They're talking above each other. It doesn't make good television. It's sort of unseemly. Once the trainers got up there and they started talking sense, I think that helped. The initial face-off was good, but fuck, to do another face-off, are you just courting danger? What the hell? How many times? Right. You want them to kiss?
That's what it looked like they were going to do there for a second.
Yeah, right.
It's getting weird, but.
Do you think this can be something, Crawford and Spence, you're having this success with PBC, other fights, do you think this can be the norm rather than the exception?
Well, I think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but obviously when two promotional entities do an event and they work collegially and the event is a success, the tendency is to replicate it in other ways. So yeah, I would think so, and I don't know why not. I mean, obviously, anytime you can get two networks like ESPN and Fox to work together, I mean, that's unbelievable for the sport. People are talking about this fight all over the country, and one of the big topics is how ESPN and Fox are promoting it. Look, let me tell you something. When I was watching the Super Bowl in a friend's party where they had 80 people and they played that first commercial in the Super Bowl, everybody was looking at me. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. I mean, I've been around since the first Super Bowl. There's never been a commercial for a boxing match in any Super Bowl ever.
Let me follow up with one other question then. Two of the fights that did huge numbers, De La Hoya Mayweather kind of broke late, and then Pacquiao Mayweather, the same thing where late in the week, you could tell it was really going up. Do you see that with this fight, given all of it, what you just talked about, all the exposure you've gotten, live press conferences on national television, the Super Bowl, et cetera, do you sense that this fight can even trend bigger than you had been talking before?
It's hard to say because this fight started out at a huge level, particularly when Fox and ESPN jumped in from the get-go the way they have. But yeah, obviously, on fight week, you find a tremendous groundswell. You know it from people calling up for tickets, for people who, are telling you that they're going to watch it on this or that pay-per-view. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know, I really believe that when I found out early on, before we even had an announcement of how Fox and ESPN were going to do this, that's why I predicted 2 million. Mm-hmm. Now, to predict 2 million, if this was back in the old HBO and Showtime days, that would have been crazy. But because of those two networks, I always thought we had a shot to equal or exceed 2 million buys, and I'm now more than ever confident.
Bob, when you have been in the course of this promotion and dealing with the people at PBC and Fox and everything, has there been any idle conversation about future endeavors?
No, because the truth is that it's been the line people in PBC and Top Rank. It's like Todd DeBuff handled all of those logistics for us with Brad Jacobs and Bruce Binko for PBC. And really, other than a call here and there for, just social, there's been no communication with Al and myself. I mean, they clear everything with Al, but the people we've dealt with at PBC, the ones who've been handling the television with us, the foreign first class. Everybody, it's not just that they said, okay, we'll let Top Rank run with this and we'll go along, but everybody has contributed and worked hard on.
Okay, so then why could this fight be done seemingly very easily, relatively speaking, it seemed to me, but other ones I'm not gonna say they can't be done, but aren't being done.
Well, again, you know, who knew? We had one experience, let's be honest about it. There was one experience, was the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. And it was a big financial success, but emotionally and everything was an absolute disaster. Absolute, you cannot believe it. Yeah, I mean, I'd go home at night with knots in my stomach. They drive me crazy. And I guess maybe we drove them crazy. So it was horrible. It was horrible. So when we made this deal, I said, Al, are we gonna have the problem we had last night? He said, I promise you won't. And he lived up to his promise. Everything was very, very smooth in this one between the two companies. So now, if this is the success we hope it will be, then he's a businessman, I'm a businessman, and then we say, hey, let's do it. Where else can we do a big promotion where Fox and ESPN come together? And, you know, the one that is on everybody's mind is Spence-Crawford.
And there's nothing that would make you say, like, I need to be dug in. That fight can only be on ESPN. If it makes the business sense to allow
You
it to be
have
on
to
both.
understand ESPN. ESPN, like Fox, is a major network. And one thing they've learned, maybe in the last 5 years or so, is there's a great advantage of working together. That's why you will hear on the football broadcast on a Sunday, the Fox announcer saying, hey, Monday night on ESPN there's this great game. You know, they know now that it's to the benefit of all of them to work together, particularly on like they both do the Big Ten, and they promote each other's games. You know, before, years ago, oh, can't promote their games because they're up against cockamamie television on our network, right? But that's changed completely. It's a whole different dimension. So it's been, I think, relatively easy for Fox and ESPN to work together, and having them work together so well sent a lesson and a message to promoters who have been used to dealing in the era of Showtime and HBO where that wasn't possible.
How surprising has it been to you that it's gone this smoothly based on your previous experience, even though he told you that in the beginning?
Well, again, I really think that if we had the second tier, like HBO and Showtime, that had little empires of their own. They had sports department. They weren't really sport. They were all boxing. They were boxing promoters like we were. And when they, fought over every piece of turf, these guys are big, big players, and they don't want to be bothered with that. They don't care if Joe Tess is going to be the commentator and their guy is going to do something else. I mean, they sat down and they worked everything out. It was seamless. I mean, it took weeks. You can't understand how bad it was with HBO and Showtime, arguing over this, arguing over that. You're the B side, you're the A side. It was horrible. I mean, we were wrecks. Now, here, I'm relaxed and so forth. Am I anxious about how well it's going to do? Of course, I'm a business person. But I'm saying all the groundwork has been so great thanks to these two networks and the example that they show.